One thing I've noticed about all of the folk who would detract from PC, well, not all of them, but some, you ask us that tell you that PC is a strong proposition to do something and show people this proposition. We will then do it, show people the proposition. In many cases, we'll spend money doing it. And then y'all will come and start asking, why didn't we factor in the cost of a gaming chair when we were telling people the cost to build a PC? The reason I say this is not because I'm being tongue in cheek. No. I have actually had people ask me in some of my videos to go ahead and include the cost of a gaming chair, and that I was being disingenuous because, a good mouse and a keyboard will cost at least $50 or some stupid number that you hear people talk about out there when you can buy a $5 mouse on Amazon, right? Buy those things for cheap, and you can buy yourself an $8 keyboard. Oh, well, the console experience. Not realizing that when they say the console experience and you put a cheap gaming PC in front of them, that cheap gaming PC is still better than any console. Why? At any moment in time, it can multitask, carry out processes that a console can't. And if you choose that you want to make it better than a console, you can simply upgrade its components. It's something that a console does not allow for you to do in many cases. Some consoles allow for some upgrades, but what we've realized is this is not always the way things go. I'm starting out with this particular missive because I got a comment from a user who said about me asking, why are more gamers not going to PC? They said, well, they haven't moved to PC because no one is just going to go around throwing plug and play PCs at people. Duh. Now, this is another thing, too, that I've noticed. Those of you who are the detractors of PC, you don't spend time actually worrying about or investigating or researching about PC. And you don't do so because you're not interested in a PC. But then, whenever we point out, hey, why not people try PCs, you jump in front as if to say you already know what's going on. Xbox has been working on an entire full screen mode that they're about to sell a $1,000 handheld console PC based off of with the $500 version, and you just came out and said because they're not throwing plug and play PCs at people. Very interesting. Steam has Steam Big Picture mode that can actually be, something that replicates that console experience, but none of you are ever bothering to even, go ahead and look into it. Yet you come on a VG Fight School channel and you just want to say all this stuff because I know, honestly, I can show you a bunch of videos, right, that I've made on this subject. I just scrolled through some of them I opened because you're about to ask a question that I've already answered many times over. You said, while you're in PC gaming, to regular folks, it's a hassle assembling things. My dude, you can walk into Walmart, buy some milk, eggs, bacon, and a gaming PC. You don't have to assemble anything. In fact, you will take more time assembling that breakfast of eggs and bacon than it would to actually basically powering on that PC. Stop it. People go to work. They got work to do. It's a commitment to build a gaming PC. Nobody said you had to build a gaming PC. People want plug and play. Plug and play. Plug and plug and plug and plug and play. Have a huge price sticker. I recommend you make PCs and show people the different price points where you can get the console experience, but you're still out here console warring. I'm not console warring. You're the one that would bury your head in the sand when VG makes the video, or you will come in my comment section and start telling me, oh, but you didn't do this, but you didn't factor that in, but you didn't factor this in. Even though I literally have videos of different kinds of devices. Let me go ahead and see. And showing basically all of that stuff. In fact, somebody said this in one of my videos. It said, not really an accurate showing of GPU power if you've capped the FPS. What did I make the video on? I made a PC build with a 1440 graphics card, and I showed Gotham Knights in this particular PC. This was a Radeon 6750 XT. God help you if you think you can actually buy this particular GPU right now. I put together the numbers on how you can build a PC like this. This was last year, a year ago. And I came out to about $660. You could build this PC about, $600 last year. I was telling y'all, before they raised these console prices, especially on the Xbox side, right? I was pointing this out to you. And then I played Gotham Knights on it, and it ran at 60 FPS, of which I capped it to 60 FPS. And the user that was watching this said, not really an accurate showing of the GPU power if you have the FPS capped. Well, yes, duh. But Gotham Knights doesn't even play at 60 FPS on Xbox Series XS or PlayStation 5. The developers locked it to 30 FPS. What am I doing wrong here? Every single time is a nitpicking. Every time you put out something, there's a nitpicking. There's a nitpicking. There's a nitpicking. There's a nitpicking. It's weird. It's so weird at the end of the day. And here you are asking me to do something while trying to malign what I've already done before on different platforms, on different layers. I've made different PC builds. I've actually shown pricing, everything. I have a spreadsheet. And so I just laughed, and people were talking about this, back and forth. And I said, if you don't plug a PC in, it can't play. I hope you know that. And you started to ask if I was being facetious and all that. Now, I wasn't being facetious. You were talking about building PCs. People have time. People don't have time or whatever it is, right? And I told you could just buy the PC. You go to Walmart. You go to Costco. And then here you are telling me it's like I didn't read your original post. Like all the points are there. You can agree or disagree. What am I agreeing? What am I disagreeing with? Play on consoles. I'm not forcing you, right? I'm not disagreeing with anything against you. The PC platform is better. So I pretty much have to, tell you and say, dude, whatever it is. He said if it was easy for people to get a club membership, everyone would have it. If it were easy for everybody to get a gaming PC at Costco, everyone would have it. If it were easy for everyone to build a PC, everyone would build it. To me, it's funny because you act like you want to help the masses, but all you do is console war. No. You don't care about me building gaming PCs. You just want to come and talk. That's all you want to do. Because I could literally hold your hand and show you how to put together everything, and your PlayStation.exe brain is still going to start talking nonsense. Why? Because I've already dealt with this stuff over and over again. I'm not necessarily interested at the end of the day anyways, where you choose to play your games. It's your choice. However, try not to make up stuff about my content and what I do at the end of the day, saying I don't truly want to help people. You know how many people have actually, taken the time to assist with their own PC builds or potential builds they want to make on PC? They're not giving excuses. They took the step. You're the kind of person who just wants to give excuses. And what you're realizing is there's no room for excuses, so you have to basically find something else to throw in a wrench there. Now that I've gone ahead to take 7 minutes and 31, seconds to basically dress down this trash that you're bringing here, let me now show you how to build a PC, because as an educator, I have to be able to look past this nonsense that you PlayStation fanboys like to do. So before you go out there and say I'm not helping anybody, I'll now take the next few minutes to put together a build on your behalf, okay? We're going to call it the whatever your username build is. So go to PC Part Picker, go to Builder, choose a CPU, okay? This is going to give you a series of CPUs, and you can pretty much search by price point. So, for instance, let's say you don't even know what the flip it is that you're doing, right? You just don't know, because that's what you said in your comment. People don't know. People have lives. They don't have a job. That's the biggest argument I've noticed from a lot of, or I don't know if I'll call you anti-PC or some weird categorization is that people just can't go build a PC. It's like, dude, majority of the people who actually watch these channels can disassemble a car engine and put it together, and they can't put together a gaming PC. That is quite fantastic to me, if you understand what I mean. Like, I've seen a car engine get pulled out of a car. I haven't even seen one taken apart in front of me. But to think that people who can do that cannot build a PC, it just goes to show that what it is, this is willful ignorance more than anything else. And now that I've actually taken more time to lambast it, let's say you buy a Ryzen 5 5500 and you click add. By the time you click, CPU cooler or motherboard, it's going to basically continue a compatibility layer for you where you can now pick out items that will be compatible. Now, this CPU already has a cooler inside of it, so you don't need to buy a cooler. You could just click motherboard, and it will pull up motherboards that are going to be compatible with that particular CPU that you just bought. So let's say you want to go for the, Gigabyte A520M. It will also tell you if there's a little bit of a incompatibility challenge that exists, and it's not flagging anything right now. That's why people use PC Part Picker. It helps them to pretty much remove any kind of, any kind of mix-ups that there might be in there. This is for RAM, and all the RAM that is pretty much compatible is being put out here. Okay, so DDR4 RAM, what is this? 89.99 or $50 added there, and then put your storage. It will give you compatible storage in the case of NVMe, which can all be used on that motherboard. Click your pick and just take them from a price to from a price perspective. Then your graphics card, which is your video card, which is any of these particular brands that you want. If you want yourself a $229 8 gigs ASRock Radeon 6600, those are still for sale. You can buy one. You can buy yourself a 9060 XT 16 gigs. This is actually a really, really good card. It's actually making a lot of waves. You could do that. You can go ahead and buy yourself a power supply. It will give you different, means. Now, somebody asked me, how do you know what power supply you use? PC Part Picker would also do an estimate of a power supply, of a wattage for you on their website. So right here, it says estimated wattage. You can click and see why it says estimated wattage. It's taking all of your different components, and based on their estimated power need, which is usually recommended and put on there by the manufacturer, it's calculating your power for you. So you can buy yourself a power supply that exceeds this particular power supply, recommendation over here. And it's just as simple as that. I'll just throw a power supply in there just for the sake of it. And then you need a case. Case is one that you need to put all your components in. And I think this Montec XR will do the job, or Fantex XT Pro, whichever one you want to go for. It's your choice. You put it together. Now you have a $790 build, of which I will never pay $790 for what I just built here. Don't get me wrong. I just put together the parts to help you understand compatibility. Simple. Now, do you want to do a budget build? Sure. Then now this is where you start going ahead and start looking at the different components and saying, okay, maybe I don't need a $379 GPU. Perhaps I can scale that amount down. Let me go ahead and add a video card. And you can take a GPU that is $279, or you go take that $229 GPU based on the games that you want to play. That's the most important piece. Some, people, they build a PC that is actually way better than the games they want to play. And at the end of the day, it's like their PC is just more computing than they actually need. Now, this is what enthusiasts would do in many cases, but when you're building a budget build, this is not something that I would recommend at the end of the day. So this is where you now start optimizing for your wallet. You look at how much you got, $640. This CPU is kind of old. It does decent work, but it's not going to unlock this entire the former GPU that I put on there. So this GPU will be appropriate for it. They'll both go hand in hand. Maybe you want to tweak this case price a little bit. Maybe you want to tweak the price of your your RAM. $50 for DDR4 RAM. Man, what in the world is going on? Choose memory. That's what we go here. We need to find something that would just shave off a few more dollars. You can do your price, from low to high. These are 4 gig RAM slots. This is 8 gigs of RAM. You can buy 8 gigs. It's not going to do you too great, but it can carry you for the meantime, and you shave off $20, and then you can upgrade later. So again, to say that I'm not interested in helping is just a flat out lie. I enjoy doing this. I come back home some days and I build a PC and I help people build PCs. It's like a passion of mine since I was a boy. So you coming out here to say this earns you an entire block. So now that I've made this video, I will now block you so that you can go, do something else. So thanks for the comment. Thanks for giving me content. I really appreciate you guys, but sometimes I got to shut some of you up so that we can actually concentrate on what the reality is. You're welcome. Peace out.